Yeah, so I started Hello Health after an experience with one of my children. He, at the time, was around 5.5, 6 years old when his health really deteriorated quickly. And so he had gone from this perfectly normal child to baby talking, crawling, eyes constantly dilated, devoid of all emotion, washing his hands 30, 40 times a day until they were bleeding. We had gone to a number of different doctors, and the doctors would say things like, kids will be kids, it's allergies, don't worry about it, he seems depressed, why don't we put him on Prozac? Another doctor said, why don't we check him into the hospital? And by nature, I'm a problem solver and I like to get to the why. And so it just didn't really feel like we were getting to why this was happening. And so then found a doctor that was more integrative or functional in nature, a neurologist. I really wanted a brain doctor because I figured that there was something going on if it was affecting motor, vocal, and the way he was not expressing emotion. And he seemed depressed and sad and angry and unable to really communicate. So this doctor, the first thing they said was, hey, let's pull some blood and find out what's going on inside. And so the blood work showed that he was low in certain vitamin levels, had a genetic marker called MTHFR, which about half the population has. And then he also had an active viral infection, and he had high strep titers in his blood, suggesting an active strep infection, which is bacterial, even though he was negative for strep throat. And so the doctor described that all these things together didn't allow his immune system to properly function, which then the infection had crossed the blood-brain barrier and was causing all these problems. So it's, and sure enough, the doctor taught me how to make supplements at home, how to go ahead and limit simple carbohydrates and really start putting in more smoothies and more lean proteins and more fruits and vegetables and things that would really help the system kind of get back to normal. One of the more important things that the doctor told us, and granted this is over 10 years ago now, is that it was super important to fix the gut, which at that time seemed like a really strange thing to hear. Now it's much more common. But the gut really controls everything going on in your body from a neurotransmitter standpoint. It controls sleep and mood and depression, anxiety, and all these things. And then there's a huge component in terms of how your immune system works and how it affects especially people with autoimmune and autism spectrum disorder. So it was through this learning and through the healing, eventually, it took about a year to get him back, that I really felt passionate about writing a book, published it along with 3 doctors and 2 other families sharing our stories, and then started the supplement company, about a year and a half after that. So it's really started Hello Health because it was nearly impossible to find a community of people that had gone through something similar. It was really hard to find people that were willing to communicate confidentially and to help each other. And it was still very difficult today to even find an integrative and functional community for both kids and adults where people want to discuss and help each other understand what's really going on. So happy to have Hello Health here today.